Dr. James Coyle, thank you very much indeed for allocating time to speak to us. Very grateful to you. Today you attended a conference where Azerbaijani president was present, and it was about Middle Corridor, about other concomitant factors. And he said something very interesting. He talked about synergy, that's east-west connection routes and corridors and north-south. They're not exactly mutually exclusive, and also some cumulative impact may lead to some positive conclusions. What is your perspective on this particular line of the president?
Azerbaijan has a unique geographic position in the middle between east and west and between north and south here. East and west, I think, is a bit problematic because you've got the Caspian Sea to deal with, but the port that we've just looked at is designed specifically to overcome that hurdle. North-south is actually a much easier route to run because it runs along the western edge of the Caspian and does not have to cross the water. So it certainly makes sense from an Azerbaijani perspective to be looking at both.
Middle Corridor is a project which is otherwise known as Trans-Caspian Corridor. It is very positively evaluated in Azerbaijan, but we know that not all actors in this global landscape are in favor of this particular project. So there are certain forces which will resist from that perspective. So what was the message of the president from the perspective of making sure that other actors like Iran and many others who may feel slightly disgruntled, how will they react to this message?
Well, the president's message was that he's going to do what's good for Azerbaijan, and he wants to make the people of Azerbaijan happy. He's not necessarily interested in making others happy if that comes at the expense of the Azerbaijani people. So I think his position is we just grin and bear it and wait and see what the reaction is going to be.
So we can't be entirely certain that we may just make some predictions.
Well, I mean, Iran went on record yesterday saying that the Zangezur corridor would be a threat to their national security. I don't quite understand why that's the case, but that's the position they took. And of course, I think Russia is feeling the pain of a number of Western companies that are not using their facilities now for the east-west transport. So they, of course, would probably be disgruntled over an expansion of the Middle Corridor.
Well, general perception is that after 2020, after Azerbaijani victory in the Second Karabakh War, the geopolitical landscape of the region has changed in favor of Azerbaijan. Azerbaijan's geopolitical cloud has increased, and you also wrote a couple of books on the subject, and how Russia's perspectives changed after the Azerbaijani victory in 2020.
I think Russia took advantage of the Azerbaijan victory to put peacekeepers on Azerbaijani soil. Azerbaijan was very proud when you finally got rid of the Gabala radar station and the last Russian troops left Azerbaijani soil. That was a great moment in the march of Azerbaijani independence. And now you have 2,000 Russian troops on Azerbaijani soil. So I think Russia took advantage of the Azerbaijan's victory on the battlefield. It's not necessarily Azerbaijan's victory in the diplomatic field.
You wrote a book, the first book, which was quite comprehensive. It was all-embracing. It was all about the Russia's policy in relation to Caucasus and so on. And then you're in the process of writing, and you already completed one of those related to specific countries, Georgia, Azerbaijan. how your intellectual attitudes and proclivity have changed from the point of writing the first one, which was all-embracing, and the current process when you're writing specifically oriented books.
So writing the specific books did not change my political attitude. I will say researching the first book did help clarify for me my views on what was happening on the Russian periphery. I knew that there were ethnic conflicts in Moldova, in Georgia, in Ukraine, in Azerbaijan, but I, like many, had thought of each of these conflicts as individual specific conflicts with no relation to the other. And it was only in looking at these four conflicts all together that I was able to see the pattern of how Russia has used these ethnic conflicts to expand their security border out to the outer edge of the former Soviet Union.
So you have detected some kind of Russian pattern applicable to all of these cases, but each single case is still sui generis. It has got its own peculiar characteristics. Is that the right interpretation?
Yes, that's absolutely correct. In Moldova, you didn't have an ethnic group. I mean, Transnistrians are not an ethnicity. They're just a group of people that happen to speak Russian. But Russia was able to form them into a pseudo-ethnic group. In Georgia, at first, Russia only wanted peacekeepers, and later they went to recognizing the breakaway areas as independent countries. Russia never did that with Nagorno-Karabakh. And then in Ukraine, of course, they actually annexed Crimea. So each one of these is a little different. But what's the same is that in each instance, Russia used either a pre-existing ethnic conflict or they created the ethnic conflict in order to further a need for Russian troops, Russian peacekeepers on the territories.
There are lots of talks in media, speculations, of course, mostly. They talk about Third Karabakh War. What is Third Karabakh War? Is it something like an extended escalation, which we may classify as a war, or it will be some kind of mini-war? How do you evaluate the possibilities of such a confrontation that we may possibly regard as a new war?
I don't see there a Third Karabakh War in the immediate future, and the reason is the presence of the 2,000 Russian peacekeepers. I don't believe that Russia would look kindly on a third war. If you look at 2016, if you remember, you had some fighting in Karabakh, and in fact, your troops broke through the Armenian frontline forces. There was nothing between the Azerbaijani army and Yerevan, to be quite honest, and yet you didn't pursue that because there were some powers that let it be known that they would not look favorably on that. And I think it's that sort of intervention that will keep a Third Karabakh War from breaking out.
Yeah. And my last question is about Russian peacekeeping contingent. They are there. They will be there till 2025.
Will they?
Well, according to the Trilateral Declaration.
Declaration says they're there until 2025 or longer if requested.
And requests may not be made.
Or requests will be made by at least one side.
Another question, of course. So my question is,
peacekeepers never leave. The peacekeepers are still in Moldova from 1989. Yeah, they're still in Georgia from 1991. Only now they're border guards.
Yeah.
They were still in Ukraine when 2014 broke out, and they were there until the invasion this February. So right, and now you have them in on the Legion corridor. They're not going anywhere.
you seem to subscribe to the view that Russian peacekeepers entered this area not with the purpose of sorting out the problem, fixing and leaving, but with the purpose of staying there and somehow establishing permanent bases.
That is what they have done each and every time.
And you feel absolutely certain that they are fully committed to stay there beyond 2025.
I do. I believe that.
Thank you very much indeed. Most grateful to you.
Thank you.
Pleasure.